sudden, intense, disruptive. And there are others who arrive like a soft breeze, gentle, quiet, but impossible to ignore. Some stay, some vanish, some leave you better, others leave you broken. But if you've ever wondered why certain people come into your life at the exact moment they do, or why some connections feel so heavy, so important, even if they're short-lived, then keep listening. Because what we're about to explore is not coincidence, it's not luck. It's a deeper pattern, a sacred timing, a teaching wrapped in human form. If this message resonates with you, leave a comment below. Every person is a teacher. That simple truth can change how you see your past and shape how you move through the future. Have you ever met someone and felt an instant connection, like you've known them forever? Or perhaps the opposite, someone who triggered something deep in you the moment you crossed paths? According to Buddhist wisdom, these encounters are not random. They are karmic, and karma is not punishment or reward. It's a chain of cause and effect, or a web of energy guide that transcends one lifetime. The people we meet carry echoes of past actions, reflections of our own mind, and invitations for growth, whether we accept them or not. Buddhism teaches us that we live in a world of interbeing. Nothing and no one exists in isolation. Every thought, every word, every intention we set is part of a field of relationships. So when someone enters your life, they are not just a stranger, they are a reflection, a mirror, a messenger, sometimes even a test. There's a story in Zen tradition about a monk who asked his teacher, "Why do certain people bother me so much?" The master replied, "Because they are showing you the parts of yourself you have yet to make peace with." This is the uncomfortable beauty of relationship. It reveals us to ourselves, not just the good, but the unconscious, the wounded, the hidden. That co-worker who irritates you, that lover who awakens all your fears, that friend who shows up just when you're falling apart. None of it is by accident. All of it is invitation. And this is where timing matters. You don't meet people when you're ready. You meet them to become ready. You meet them in moments of transition, expansion, collapse. You meet them when your soul is whispering for change, even if your mind is resisting it. Because sometimes it takes another person to activate the lesson. Sometimes it takes heartbreak to open your heart. Sometimes it takes betrayal to reveal your boundaries. Sometimes it takes deep love to show you how little you've been loving yourself. When the Buddha spoke of the Eightfold Path, he emphasized right view, seeing life clearly. And part of seeing clearly is understanding that every encounter has meaning, not in a sentimental way, but in a spiritual one. The people who challenge you the most are often the ones pushing you to evolve, not because they are right, but because they are necessary. They are the friction that reveals your rough edges, the fire that forges your clarity, the echo of your past mind meeting your present potential. There is a Zen proverb that says, "The teacher will appear when the student is ready." But what they don't often tell you is that the teacher doesn't always come in robes and calm voices. Sometimes, the teacher is a difficult boss. Sometimes, it's a friend who betrays you. Sometimes, it's the partner who leaves. The student doesn't always feel ready, but life knows, timing knows. And when you stop resisting the form and start listening for the message, the whole relationship shifts. Think of the people who have entered your life during periods of intense emotion, grief, confusion, change. Some of them may have hurt you, others may have held you, but all of them arrived for a reason. Some came to show you what love is. Others came to show you what love is not. Some came to remind you of your strength. Others came to humble you. Some stayed long enough to build with you. Others came only long enough to break something open. In Buddhist cosmology, there's the concept of karmic debts and karmic ties, the idea that we are bound to certain souls across lifetimes, not in a romantic fantasy, but in a spiritual continuity. The unresolved becomes the lesson. The patterns repeat until we meet them with awareness. And when you begin to see your life through this lens, the question becomes less about why did this happen to me and more about what is this teaching me? Thich Nhat Hanh often reminded us that every person who appears in your life is a continuation of you. That to love someone is to recognize yourself in them. And that includes the parts you don't want to see. The anger, the fear, the jealousy, the clinging, they don't create it, they reflect it. And in that mirror, you are given the chance to choose, will I react from habit or respond from awareness? This is not easy work. It requires courage, requires honesty. It requires letting go of the idea that people should always be pleasant or stay forever. Because the truth is, not every soul is meant to walk the full path with you. Some are bridges, some are lessons, some are closures, and each has a role. The friend who ghosted you, perhaps they taught you how to stop abandoning yourself. The parent who couldn't love you the way you needed, perhaps they shaped your path of compassion. The partner who broke your heart, perhaps they cracked it open so that real love could finally enter. None of this is about justification, it's about liberation. You are not being punished, you are being prepared. Every person is a mirror, every mirror a message, every message a moment to awaken. When you embrace this view, something shifts. You stop clinging to people, you stop resenting them too. You meet them with curiosity, even the painful ones, especially the painful ones, because their arrival means your soul is ready for something deeper, a boundary, a release, a truth. And sometimes you meet people who feel like home the moment they arrive. Souls you don't have to explain yourself to. People who bring peace to your nervous system just by existing. These are gifts. But even gifts can be temporary, because timing is not always forever. Sometimes, the right person at the right time is there only for a season, and that doesn't make the connection less real. It makes it sacred, because it wasn't meant to be permanent. It was meant to be transformational. The Buddha taught impermanence not as a curse, but as a door. When we let go of permanence, we stop trying to control everything. We stop trying to hold people where they no longer belong. We stop trying to force stories that have already ended. We love more fully because we know it may not last. We forgive more easily because we know that nothing, not even anger, is forever. This way of seeing frees you. You stop measuring relationships by their length and start honoring them for their depth. You stop labeling people as good or bad and start asking, what did this person awaken in me? What truth did they bring to the surface? What part of myself did they call me to reclaim? The answer is not always obvious. Sometimes the lesson reveals itself years later. Sometimes it comes in a moment of silence, a dream, a memory you didn't know you were carrying, but it always comes. If you're paying attention, it always comes. The heart, when open, sees meaning everywhere. And that doesn't mean everything is easy. It means everything is usable. Every encounter, every goodbye, every hello. It's all material for your awakening. The more conscious you become, the more you meet people consciously. You see who is meant to teach you patience, who is meant to help you heal, who is meant to challenge your boundaries, who is meant to walk beside you not forever, but for now. And now is all we ever really have. Now is all we ever really have. And the people who walk into your now, they matter, not because they complete you, not because they fix you, but because they reflect back something you're ready to see. That reflection might bring joy, it might bring pain, but it always brings truth. There's a subtle wisdom in meeting people at certain times in your life. Sometimes the timing feels perfect, like life orchestrated something just for you. And sometimes it feels cruel, like someone was taken too soon, or arrived too late, or left just as things were starting to make sense. But what if we stopped measuring timing by comfort and started measuring it by readiness? What if the people who enter your life at confusing, difficult, or beautiful moments are not there by accident, but because your soul reached a place where their presence could do something nothing else could? It's easy to romanticize soul connections, but the truth is, the soul doesn't care about your comfort. The soul cares about your becoming. It cares about your awareness, your awakening, your ability to return to love even when love is complicated. Some souls enter your path to show you what you've forgotten. Others enter to remind you what you must release. And a few appear simply to walk with you for a while, so that you remember what it feels like not to be alone. Buddhism teaches that we are each a bundle of causes and condition, constantly changing, interconnected with everything around us. No one appears in your life outside of that web. That stranger who smiled at you in the cafe, that friend you haven't heard from in years, who suddenly messages you, that difficult ex you keep dreaming about. They all carry energetic threads that are woven through your story, not always to be held on to, but always to be noticed. The key is presence. Without presence, people just pass through us. We blame, we cling, we miss the deeper message. But with presence, even a painful interaction becomes something sacred. You ask, what is life trying to show me through this person? What version of myself is being invited forward or released? There's a quiet confidence that grows when you stop resisting the comings and goings of people in your life. You begin to trust that those who leave are not punishments, and those who stay are not promises. Everyone is a mirror, and when that mirror has served its purpose, it cracks, and it's time to move on. This doesn't mean we love less, it means we love wiser. The mind will try to categorize everyone, friend, enemy, soulmate, mistake, but the heart knows better. The heart knows that people can be all of those things and none of them. That sometimes the person who hurts you also opens the door to your healing. And that sometimes the one who comforts you is also keeping you from growing. That sometimes you are that person for someone else and you don't even know it. This is the beauty and the responsibility of being human. We are not isolated experiences. We are participants in each other's becoming. And when we treat our relationships, however brief, however messy, with reverence, we become less reactive, more awake. We listen more. We take things less personally. We become students of the connection instead of victims of the timing. But timing still matters. Think of the people you've met at your lowest when you were vulnerable, open, raw. Those relationships often hold intense power. Not because they were perfect, but because your guard was down, your soul was exposed. You were learning something about trust, or boundaries, or letting go, and those people, they were your practice. The Buddha taught that life is suffering, but not in a hopeless way. He meant that clinging, whether to people, feelings, or expectations, is what creates our pain. And when it comes to relationships, clinging is a common reflex. We want people to stay the same. We want moments to last forever. But everything changes, everyone evolves. And sometimes, the lesson isn't to hold tighter, it's to bow in gratitude and let go. Letting go doesn't mean erasing the past. It means releasing your grip on it. It means honoring the timing without resenting it. It means saying, you came when I needed you. You left when the lesson was done. And I bless both. That kind of grace takes practice, it takes heart, it takes a deeper trust in life's rhythm than most of us are taught. And yet, it's possible. You've already survived losses you thought would break you. You've already learned things you swore you weren't ready for. You've already loved deeply and let go when it was time. You may not have done it perfectly, but you did it. And you will do it again, not because it's easy, but because your soul was made to grow through connection. Think of your life like a mandala, intricate, delicate, meaningful. Every person is a brushstroke, some bold, some light. Some leave marks you carry forever. Others vanish quickly. But without them, the picture would be incomplete. You don't always get to choose who enters or exits, but you always get to choose how you meet them, with fear or curiosity, with resentment or reverence, with clinging or compassion. This shift from reaction to reflection transforms everything. You stop chasing people. You stop forcing connection. You start asking deeper questions. Who is this person in the story of my awakening? What are they here to show me? What am I here to offer them? And maybe the most powerful question of all, what would it mean to love them without needing them to stay? That kind of love, the love that releases rather than possesses, is the heart of Buddhist compassion. It sees others not as sources of happiness or validation, but as fellow travelers on the path, each carrying their own karma, each walking their own journey. And when your path intersects with theirs, it's a gift, even when it hurts, even when it ends. Because the end of a relationship is not the end of its meaning. Some of the people who shaped you most are no longer in your life, but their imprint remains. Their lesson remains. Their thread is still part of your fabric. So don't measure connection by duration, measure it by depth, by what it awakened in you, by what it asked you to remember, and then move forward, not in bitterness, but in gratitude, because when you honor the timing of every encounter, you free yourself from the illusion that anything is wasted. Nothing is wasted. Not the conversation that changed you, not the betrayal that revealed you, not the silence that taught you how to listen, not the goodbye that taught you how to stay with yourself. Every person you meet is both a reflection and a ripple. They show you who you are and they shape who you become. And when you meet them with presence, when you trust the timing, when you listen for the message, they become more than people. They become portals to truth, to healing, to a self you couldn't access without them. So trust it. Trust the strange arrivals. Trust the hard goodbyes. Trust the brief connections. Trust the long journeys. Trust that your soul is calling in exactly who it needs, exactly when it needs them, not for comfort, but for expansion. And if you've been hurt, if you've lost someone, if you're still holding on to a connection that ended too soon, breathe. Place your hand on your heart. Say to yourself, they came when I was ready to learn, and I am grateful. That gratitude doesn't erase the pain, but it gives the pain a purpose. It transforms memory into meaning, and meaning, more than anything, is what gives us peace. You don't have to understand the timing of every person. You just have to trust that life is wise, that your path is sacred, that your heart is stronger than it seems, and that even the people who broke you helped build you. The next time someone enters your life and you feel a deep pull or a deep discomfort, pause, breathe. Ask, what are they here to reflect? What part of me is being called forward? What lesson might this moment carry? It won't always be clear right away, but if you're willing to stay present, if you're willing to meet people with awareness instead of attachment, life will reveal itself, one connection at a time. And in that awareness, in that presence, you stop being a victim of timing. You become a student of it. You stop fearing change. You start trusting rhythm. You stop asking people to stay. You start asking yourself to listen. And in that listening, you'll find what you were always looking for, not in someone else, but in you. Peace, understanding, liberation, and the quiet, powerful truth that every person is a teacher, especially the ones you didn't expect.